Haunting Ghost Collection. Phantoms of the Pine Hills, Dalat, Vietnam.
I remember the year was 2017, and I had just gone through a difficult breakup with my boyfriend. In an effort to clear my head and find some peace, I decided to take a solo trip from Saigon to Dalat, Vietnam. A university friend of mine offered to show me around some popular spots, and we visited places like the Square, Chicken Church, Ca Dat Flower Garden, and the Clay Tunnel. Dalat was a beautiful destination with its enchanting French colonial architecture, vibrant flower gardens, and mist-shrouded hills. However, beneath its idyllic facade, there was a darker side. Legends of haunted houses and ghostly encounters circulated, sparking curiosity and apprehension among visitors. Little did I know that amidst the tales I had heard, one day I would find myself entangled in a supernatural journey, forever altering my perception of this captivating city. It all started after my friend and I visited the twin graves on a pine hill. We took a few photos there before heading to have lunch and returning to our hotel. From that moment on, something felt different within me. I became irritable towards everyone, regardless of whether they were strangers or acquaintances. I couldn't sleep that afternoon despite feeling exhausted and hearing the alarm. I felt like something was weighing me down, preventing me from sitting up. That evening, I visited the Dalat night market. But I couldn't find joy in it. I texted my ex-boyfriend, crying, and stayed awake until 5 or 6 in the morning. The next day, even though my itinerary was planned, I refused to go anywhere and sat in a cafe, avoiding conversation with my friend. By the afternoon, I received a phone call from Saigon informing me of a problem with my work, so I hastily returned. That night, my friend accompanied me to the bus back to Saigon, but I remained in a grumpy mood. I couldn't sleep on the bus, and listening to Buddhist music made it even more difficult. I sensed my heartbeat was irregular, as if there were 2 overlapping beats. Upon arriving in Saigon, I exhibited the same irritated attitude towards my Grab driver. When I reached my room, I felt exhausted and decided to skip school, spending the whole day lying under the covers despite the heat of Saigon. I became afraid of light, and my temperament and behavior became challenging to handle. I had a video shoot scheduled for a commercial, but I couldn't complete a 5-minute clip after 3 hours due to forgetting my lines, even though I had tested them smoothly before. I felt helpless and frustrated, crying uncontrollably, and requested to be excused from further filming. It wasn't until I called my mother, crying and saying that I thought someone was following me and that I felt exhausted, heavy, and had difficulty breathing, that I found out what was really happening. My mother believed in the supernatural and suggested I go see Aunt Twee, a fortune teller I had consulted before. During that time, I experienced extreme negativity. When I saw a knife, I thought of cutting my hand, and while walking on the street, I had a strong urge to throw myself in front of a large vehicle. I just wanted to end it all. When I met with Aunt Twee, I asked her to see if something was following me after my trip to Dalat. She immediately responded, "Yes, there are 2 individuals behind you." Hearing this, a chill ran down my spine. Aunt Twee explained that a man and a woman who loved each other but were forbidden by their families had committed suicide together at the lake. They had been stuck there for a long time, but they were attached to me. The young man had feelings for me, while the young woman was clinging on. She even pointed out 2 distinct shadows in the photos I took on the Pine Hill. I was terrified, but Aunt Twee provided me with various leaves, lemongrass, pomelo, and fragrant water for a steam bath. She instructed me to boil water at noon, steam myself 3 times like that, and endure a little because the scent would be strong. If I couldn't bear it, they wouldn't be invited out, as I prayed during the ritual. I felt a presence outside the blanket I was under, and a large hand, like that of a man, gently stroked my head 3 times. At that moment, only I was at home. I can still vividly recall it even now. The steam enveloped me during the ritual, and I could feel the weight of unease lifting from my shoulders. The aromatic herbs and soothing heat seemed to cleanse not only my body but also my troubled spirit. After the 3rd session, I emerged feeling refreshed and renewed. It was a scary experience, but I'm grateful that Aunt Twee was able to help me. The heavy burden that had plagued me was replaced with a restored sense of tranquility, and the genuine joy that radiated from within returned. It was as if the otherworldly forces that had tormented me had finally released their grip, allowing me to reclaim my peace of mind and rediscover the beauty of Dalat without the shadow of fear.